Hello everyone, and today we're going to be reading through the top posts on r/advice and advising them with my professional 100% correct advice afterwards. So the first post here is called "My ex-wife has asked me to buy school supplies for all her kids, and I said no, but should I?" My ex-wife and I have 2 kids together. We divorced when they were 2 and 11 months old. Co-parenting is 50-50, and I pay a small amount of child support because I make a little more than she does. So already you can see that our guy is flexing his wealth compared to his wife a little bit. She married a man with 5 children already and had 2 more children with him. So this woman has like 9 kids so far. She has 2 with this guy. And then the man already had 5 kids, which I don't know what the guy was up to, but 5 kids. And then now she decided to have 2 more kids after that, even though she already had pretty young kids. I mean, I don't know how much later she got remarried, but when she got divorced, they were only 2 and 11. So yeah, this family is currently raising like 9 kids. Okay, here's another plot twist. She also may or may not be expecting again, but who really knows? And I think that that's a very important point to bring up, because I mean, once you have 9 kids, I think, you already crossed the barrier of what a reasonable amount of kids is. So you're just going to keep having more. I don't always trust what comes out of her mouth, but she has been crazy ever since meeting her husband. Before they had any children together, they could not afford all 7 kids between them. She even asked me if I would willingly pay more child support so that they can provide better for all the other kids. This makes 0 sense, because why would he be obligated to pay for the other 5 kids that aren't his own if he's already paying child support for the 2 that he is in charge of? I said no and spoke to my attorney and offered to take the kids off her hands if she wanted more freedom, but she turned me down flat and has turned me down any time I have replied to her requests for money with "I'll happily take the kids." So this woman is not able to sustain her household of 7 kids, but she is also against just giving the kids to her husband, who clearly wants to take them from her multiple times. But she is totally down to sue him for extra child support. Okay, yeah. She tried to sue me for extra child support, but her other kids are not calculated in child support. Neither is her husband, so I can't go their household income. Increased, so they let me off the hook. Yeah, I don't know exactly what that means, but I'm just assuming that they didn't make him pay extra for the kids that he didn't father, which obviously that makes sense. No, it's all about our 2 kids only and both of us. My kids are taken care of, which is all I care about. My kids are good kids who are happiest with me, but are still too young to have a say in that. They don't like their mom's house because it is so crowded and chaotic, and they don't have their own space. Their relationship with their step and half siblings is indifferent. They just don't interact with them really ever, and it sounds like it's mutual on the part of their steps. My ex will tell me that giving more would change that and would make everybody happier, but it feels like it's her way of trying to make me pay for her choices, to marry a guy with 5 of his own and have 2 more with him when they can't even afford 7, let alone 9. Okay, so far, yeah, this guy seems very much in the right and the wife seems very much in the wrong. So I feel like he already basically advised himself with that, but let's keep going. Now we're on school supplies. I buy school supplies for my kids. They have their names on everything, and I make sure to keep them stocked with what they need. My ex and her husband relied on the class supplies last year, and this year they have to do the same again, but their class supplies were low and a lot of the stuff broke easily, according to her. So she wants me to buy for 8 of the 9 children. It's 8 because the youngest has not started school yet. Okay, for a second there, I was like, okay, so maybe they're pulling their finances together to at least give one child some school supplies, but that's not the case. The kid literally just doesn't go to school. It's 8 because the youngest has not started school yet. I told her no, and that she needed to reach out to a charity for help instead of me. I told her the offer is still there for me to take care of our kids more, but the answer is still no. She won't leave me alone and has tried every guilt trip and pressure tactic in the book. I care about none of it, but it leaves me wondering what advice I would get and whether people think I should or shouldn't do it. Yeah, so I mean, real talk, like this guy basically, I mean, unless, there's some huge plot twist on the side of the wife's side, I think it's very, very clear that this dude is in the right here, and he has absolutely no obligation to pay for kids that are not his own. I think the wife should probably stop having more kids, considering I think 9 is plenty enough in this economy. And yeah, I mean, that if he wants advice, yeah, just don't buy school supplies for the other kids. I think that would just result in her relying on this guy for even more expenses. And yeah, I think, I mean, it's pretty simple advice here. There isn't really much room for debate. There's no need for him to pay for kids that are not his own, no matter how much your ex-wife is trying to guilt trip you. Now let's look at the comments. Yeah, keep meticulous records of all these conversations. Yeah, I guess just make sure that you don't get caught, especially because I think if you actually do start paying for the other kids, I think that might even allow her to sue you for more child support because you're taking on a fatherly role for the other kids. So definitely don't do that. And it sounds like your kids don't really get along with them either. So just wait until they're a little bit older, and then, I don't know, maybe try to convince them to stay with you, because it seems like I don't think you need to convince them, just, go through the legal work in order to keep them with you instead, once they get more of a say as they grow older. And then, yeah, did you say that dude has 7 kids? Yeah, this dude is crazy. You can, yeah, I mean, I think the wife is probably not interested in contraception, considering, they already have 9 kids and potentially more, according to you. But yeah. All right, so that was the first post, and time for the second post. So this one is called "My Husband Won't Let Me Sleep, and I Feel Like I'm Under Psychological Warfare." So I feel like this is probably going to be a good way to balance off of the very husband-centric previous post. So here we go. My 37F husband, 45M. So already Reddit's probably going to suggest divorce just based off these first 2 sentences. The age gap right here, 9 years. But let's continue. Have been married over 15 years. Okay, so that means that when she was 21, she married a guy who just hit 30. Actually, that's when they were married. So potentially they were probably dating even earlier. So let's just assume, probably worst case scenario, which isn't even that far off from reality probably. She was 18 and the dude was 27. And so they dated for 3 years and then they got married. And then over 15 years, they had 3 kids. So we have a 5-year-old, a 9-year-old, and an 11-year-old. He has always been a morning person, and I've always been a night person because of my mother being in healthcare and us adjusting to her schedule so we could spend time with her after work. He has always resented that I don't like getting up early in the morning. We have a job with a flexible schedule. We literally go in when we want, within reason, and within a window of core hours set by the company. So there's not really such a thing as being late. Even given this, he prefers to get up at 3 a.m. and go to work around 4 or even 4:30. As long as I'm not involved, you do you and leave me out of it. So this dude's a very, early riser. And even if his work is super flexible, he's taking advantage of that flexibility to just go in super early and probably come home pretty early as well. I mean, if you go in at 4, you'll probably be home by lunch, right? But yeah. However, on the days we're off, and even sometimes when it's a work day, but he's going in before me, we both work, he makes it a point to wake me up, but he does it covertly, where he can claim it was unintentional, and I'm reading too much into it. Things like closing drawers entirely too hard, turning on multiple lights, sometimes even playing videos out loud on his phone when he gets ready. So, I mean, obviously, we need to read a little bit more just to figure out if this is completely true. But if this is true, then this dude's clearly a psychopath who, for some reason, just likes making his wife sleep deprived. Last night, I specifically asked that he let me sleep because I wasn't feeling well. I've had a migraine for a couple of days now, and the kids would sleep in due to it being summer break. He did the same trope of huffing around like an elephant, getting ready, and woke me up, and then gleefully came and kissed my head to say goodbye before nearly skipping out. I've talked to him about this multiple times over and over, and each time he says he's trying to be quiet and didn't mean to wake me up, but I don't believe it at all because he does this so often. He'll sometimes even wake the kids up and bring them downstairs and accidentally let them run into the room to jump on me and wake me up when he just turned his back for a second, over and over. In fact, I had been working my master's degree for 2.5 years with my classes very early every Friday. So the first Friday I was finally free, I told everyone in the entire house, including my mom, that I planned to sleep in as long as my body would physically allow to celebrate. He not only woke me up, but woke me up around 4 a.m. For what it's worth, I'm a deep sleeper. My dad set off the fire alarm when I was a teenager, and I slept through it and had to be woken up, so it 10,000% feels intentional. If I don't get some sleep in the morning, I'm literally going to crash out. I have the migraine of a lifetime. I'm not feeling well, and I feel like I'm a prisoner of war. What the actual heck? He says I'm overreacting. Yes, we're already in marriage counseling. And no, it's not helping. I don't know what else to do. I'm trying to figure out how, if I chose divorce, the reason I'd have to tell people is he won't let me sleep. Please give me advice. I've tried a lot of options and don't know what else to do. Okay, so I don't know what's wrong with this guy, but he seems to just get some enjoyment in psychologically torturing his wife by not letting her sleep. And, I'm a pretty deep sleeper too. And if there's one thing that I hate, it's being woken up by anything that's not myself or an alarm. And especially if it's someone else's fault, I think that the best advice would be, maybe like start sleeping in a separate room and then like lock your room up really, really tight and maybe get some like better soundproofing. So that way he has absolutely no excuse. And yeah, it sounds like, I don't know why. Maybe it's just because he gets up early and for some reason he wants you to get up early too. So you can, keep him company or something. You could also respond by not letting him sleep either, and just waking him up at night so he knows how it feels. But this is, of course, this is kind of a fighting fire with fire situation where it could potentially escalate. It sounds like this isn't the only issue that you have with your husband, considering you're in marriage counseling already. So, I would say that the best solution is to just sleep in a separate room until he either changes or just until you feel like you want to give it another shot sleeping in the same room. Yeah, that would be my best advice. Let's look at the comments. I can't even read. It's too triggering. Look up that "why does he act this way" essay everyone is always posting. TLDR, my abusive ex wouldn't let me sleep, and it ultimately was some of the worst of the abuse and takes the longest to overcome. Yeah, once again, I think for me, like, sleeping is very, very personal. It's one of my deepest ingrained values in life. And if someone were interrupting my sleep, I feel like that would definitely be a very big issue. Yeah, I know it's kind of weird to initiate divorce because of not being able to sleep, but if you try going like a week with only like 4 hours of sleep, you would understand that it's a pretty big deal. He's doing the abusive intentional control thing. Yeah, maybe that's a way that he's just trying to test his limits or something like that. You could do something similar when going to bed late. Seriously though, this is torture. Can you sleep elsewhere? If he can't even let you sleep, divorce may be the only option. Yeah, so this is what I suggested, start torturing him back. But I don't really know if this would solve the problem. I think it would probably just make it worse. But yeah, this is probably what I would recommend as well. Just find a different room to sleep in temporarily And then if he's so loud that you can still be woken up through a different room, then that way you definitely have something to complain about that isn't just easily deniable by him. Yeah, so, all right, time for the last post of the day. My SD died, and his wife won't leave me alone. I don't know what an SD is. Sugar daddy, maybe? Okay, so I don't really know how to work this app, so bear with me. I-19F had a 75M SD. Dang, that's a nice gap. Okay. He passed. Also 19, and you're already able to hustle a sugar daddy. That's I gotta respect the hustle right there. He passed in April, and he did not tell me he had a wife. Context, we met a year ago, and he has paid me a little more than $700 a week. So she's making $2,800. That's more than minimum wage, isn't it? Yeah, so she's making $33,000 from this guy, and minimum wage would be somewhere around $28K, which is what I just checked. So she's making more than minimum wage from this guy. So we did not have any sort of sexual contact, and I'd say all in all, we probably saw each other in person about a handful of times. So she's only met this guy a handful of times, and she's still able to pull $700 a week. You know, honestly, I think this might be a side career path that I should look into. In our beginning stages of talking, he told me he had no kids and his wife passed away when she was 30 in a drunk driving accident. A bald-faced lie. Okay, so my SD told me he was in the hospital because he was having heart palpitations, and after that he went ghost. At first I didn't think anything of it, but then a week went past and he was not responding to any of my calls or texts. Then I get a number saying that this is 75M wife. She was calling me slurs, a bunch of different bad names for a woman, and literally every insult in the book. I told her I didn't know he was married, and he told me that she passed away. He passed away, I think. Or hold on. He told me she passed away, and then she proceeded to call me a liar. I blocked her after that. 2 days later, there was a random dead mouse left in my mailbox. I didn't liken this to my situation with SD's wife. Then I got a text later from a random number saying, I hope you got the message, you home-wrecking dog. Yeah, so I think this SD's wife is going for the old Godfather intimidation technique with, leaving dead animals in other people's property. But let's see. And then she basically said that I was the rat in their life, and I'm the reason why they were struggling with money. So this 75M guy is, I guess, not super wealthy, but enough to pay the full-time salary of a minimum wage employee. I'm assuming she got my address, SD's messages. I blocked the number, and she will not stop calling me from other fake numbers and threatening me and sending me threatening messages. I filed a police report, but they basically said that they can't do anything because she lives in a different state and there's no proof that it's actually her. What do I do? Okay, so there's actually an update here as well. But let's just go ahead and give her advice just based off this first. So I would say just work on getting some proof that it's actually her. And then you can't really do much. It's not like you can show up to her house and beat her up or anything like that. I guess the best thing, you already filed a police report, and I think the best thing is to just obtain proof that it's actually her. Somehow, I don't know, maybe ask her to do a video call and then record the video call and then show that to the cops or do something like that. It's not like she's doing anything super scary or anything. She's just putting stuff in your mailbox. Actually, that is kind of creepy because I don't know if you can really mail dead rats to people. There's a chance that she literally showed up and put a dead rat in her mailbox, which might be a little more concerning. And in that case, you should probably get some security as well. Maybe get a security camera and just put it outside your house. And that would also help with obtaining evidence. I don't think some 75-year-old grandma is really going to pose much of a threat to you. But, just for your own safety, it would be good to have some security cameras around your house. And once you've accumulated enough evidence, hopefully the cops can arrest her or do something like that. Okay, so now let's read the update. Hello guys. I just want to thank everyone that gave me lots of advice and well wishes. Y'all are much appreciated. So I bought cameras, tried talking to the police again. They did nothing. Okay. Changed my number, and I looked into lawyering up. Okay, so she actually did buy cameras. That's good. And she changed her number too. That's also probably a good idea. Yeah, I forgot about that. But I mean, yeah, you can change your number so that she can stop using fake numbers to call you. I also did a lot of digging through my 75M Sugar Daddy's Facebook. Also, I'm sorry for causing so much confusion for not saying it before Reddit said I was likely to get flagged. Okay, so I guess a lot of people didn't know what SD meant. But yeah, I'm a experienced Redditor, I guess, because I was able to pick up on the Sugar Daddy immediately. I guess you could, I mean, just based off 19F, 75M. The context is there, but still. We can call him Ronald for the sake of this. I did not see anyone on his page that looked like it could be his wife, but I did find his niece, and I'll call her Anna. I know this may sound dumb, but I did text her, and basically explaining to her my situation with Ronald's wife and me and Ronald's relationship, hoping that she could shed some light onto my situation, and boy, she did. I'm not going to be sharing everything she told me, so this post isn't traced back to any of us involved. Ronald and his wife, I will call her Ashley, have been divorced for 8 years. Okay, so that's definitely a plot twist. Okay, let's just keep reading. Ashley is mentally unstable and was stalking and harassing Ronald while they were divorced, causing him to have restraining orders on her and calling the cops on her so many times. They did in fact have a child together, but their child died when they were in their 30s in a car crash, and Ashley was the one driving. Anna's family highly assumed that Ashley was high on meth because she was addicted to everything under the sun, and that's why she crashed in the first place. Ashley has been a drug addict for a very, very long time, and she was extremely mentally and physically abusive towards Ronald. She would also drain their accounts on insane amounts of heroin, coke, meth, crack, you name it. When Ronald went to the hospital, somehow Ashley found out that he was there, and we think that's when she took his phone, because Anna said that when she got to the hospital, a nurse asked her, "Will Ronald's wife be coming back?" Since I changed that was a long ass sentence. Since I changed my phone number, I haven't heard word from her, and I haven't seen any strange activity at my home, thank God. I do feel bad about being so mad at Ronald for lying to me, but now I know the truth, and I can understand why he did lie about some things from his past. I miss talking to him a lot, and Anna told me that Ronald told her mom a couple of times before his death that he had been talking to a lady that made him happy. So I'm glad he got some joy out of the short time we had together. I do miss him dearly. Then kind of a wholesome ending to the sugar daddy, what do you call the receiver? Sugar daddy, sugar daughter lifestyle. And yeah, so I mean the plot twist that this woman is just borderline schizophrenic is that definitely, there was some foreshadowing. I'm not going to lie with the dead mouse and everything, but I did not expect her to be divorced for 8 years. But that's crazy. I mean, the fact that he was able to deal with her for, however long, considering that when they were in their 30s. So that means he almost dealt with this completely insane person for another 30 years after she killed their kid together. But yeah, I guess he finally gave up. And I don't know, I guess she's just completely delusional, thinking that she's still married to Ronald, and she would also drain their accounts on insane amounts. Yeah, so she's definitely not sane. And then there we go. Yes, I have a job. Okay, so she's really making bank. So even if she's making minimum wage at her own job, she's making twice her regular amount. What led me to look for a sugar daddy in the first place is that my dad and his wife chose to completely not provide for my 2 toddler siblings. I have to pay for the clothes on their backs and for the food in their stomachs And I also pay well over $1,000 in daycare fees just so I can have the peace of mind that they are being fed while I'm at work. No, Ronald and I did not have any sexual contact, and he never asked for any sexual favors from me. As crazy as it sounds, I think we really did have a connection, and that he was just lonely. We talked so much and called every night. Also, he was willing to give me so much money because he was very well off and sympathized with my situation, by the way. I never asked him for that much money, and he would just send it. Dang, so this is actually a very wholesome, sugar daddy, sugar daughter relationship, like we just said. And I guess it's kind of unfortunate that the dude died. But it looks like we have a happy ending, the wife probably gave up messaging her. And, well, not a super happy ending because the dude is dead and now she isn't going to be making any money off of him to feed her toddler siblings anymore. But yeah, pretty wholesome relationship to look for a sugar daddy relationship as well. And yeah, so, it's pretty much concluded, so there's no real extra advice to give. So I think that's going to be it for today. We looked at 3 posts and gave them some high quality advice.